Fine.
Yes, sir.
So today I am going to take a quiz on module 2. Fine. Before that, before starting that quiz, what we'll do is just see the some technicalities of the policy, the policy of disaster management. Now this is. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is the NDMA current structure which I am presenting to you. The National Disaster Management Authority, which we had discussed yesterday. So the chairman will be the Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, and we'll have a vice chairman who will be governing the urban flooding and awareness in general media. So main focus is given to flooding. Likewise, there will be several other key players in this committee. So you can see the member and their responsibilities. You can just see and which union territories or states are under them. So this particular system is already well developed, and then will have a secretary, which will be below, and then they will have again different functions, na. So this of course this I will share with you. You can look in detail what the functions are. One more thing I wanted to show you is the no, not this, before this, no. So how the work is carried out, how this particular organization works, or how this particular disaster management system works. So overall coordination is with the minimum Ministry of Home Affairs. The NDMA, as we had discussed yesterday, it is the apex, like the Supreme Court. No? It is the most important body in the country to regulate the disasters management. So designated model ministers are there, which are disaster specific. Particular disaster will have particular ministers, as we saw in the slide in the pic before. Then again, there will be some decision making. So NCMC, National Crisis Management Committee, will be there, and Cabinet Committee and Secretaries there. We'll discuss this in the policy document which we'll discuss today. And National Executive Committee will be there, which will take immediate decisions on a particular disaster, what is to be done, how. National Disaster Management Authority is, you can say, it is there, it is throughout, its working is going on continuously, but National Executive Committee's decision making skills should be at the fore, because they need to decide what should be done when in case of disaster. Then the National Executive Committee will have link means these people, the armed forces and CAP forces, KPF, Central Armed Police Forces will be under the vigilance of the National Executive Committee, and they will instruct them if in the event of any disaster. Then NDMA again, the National Institute of Disaster Management, which is a more of a research type of organization, will give inputs, and it will develop the, you can say, documentation and all this, so that in the event of future disaster, proper research and development is there, so that to prevent the losses of lives, not only lives of human beings but also animals and property also. And the NDRF, these people are directly involved. There are many battalions. I showed you day before yesterday the various battalions where they are located. So there are national disaster response force as well as state disaster response forces are there, which are which the state has kept at various strategic locations, so that in the event of any disaster they can reach and they can relieve the affected people. Likewise, the coordination with state union territories should be there, and likewise in the down part, the you can say the districts and all should also be. Uh, they should also coordinate with the states and all the district. You can say response forces and whatever forces we discussed the other day, they should be there. So this is one thing. Uh, Again, this is how it works. No, the disaster management center. It works like it will have a disaster management technology committee, then forecasting and early warning committee. We'll discuss all these points in due course of time. Preparedness planning, there will be a, because there will be some responsibilities should be assigned. If the responsibility is not assigned, what happens is the process is there, है ना? Like if the responsibility is not there, process is there on paper, it will be there. But like in a cricket team, na, if everybody's role is defined, na, it is well and good. Na? If a batsman is told what he has to do, if an opener is told what he has to do, है ना? Middle order batsman, if what they have to do, na, if they are properly told, then it will be managed. But if nothing is managed, everybody knows to ball, bat, everybody knows to ball, then what will happen? There is a chaotic situation. So hence, proper strategy needs to be devised. Like in cricket, in this also proper strategy needs to be devised so that what happens is the loss of lives is minimum. And this I had discussed. One more diagram I wanted to show is uh, so again the various divisions will be there. Vice president will again have various people under him, the executive director. So they will be again different on the various depending on the various hazards. Different. Fine. So shall I start the quiz, or do you want me to teach a little bit more? Then we'll start. What do you want? Okay, I'll teach a little bit more. We'll discuss a little bit more. And then what we can do now? So if the time is distributed properly, maybe in between around 12:25, I'll give you the quiz. Am I audible properly? Nobody is responding.
Yes, sir. Audible there.
Yes, sir.
So at 12:25 we'll have the quiz. Fine. Yesterday we discussed about the where we finished. We finished on the National Executive Committee. Fine. So just a recap. We have studied about the on NDRA, National NDR. Sorry, what we had discussed. Which committee we had discussed? Make this a bit small. NDMA we had discussed. Fine. Then NEC we had discussed. So we had stopped here, if you remember, National Institute of Disaster Management. We had stopped. So the NIDM, in partnership with other research institutions, has capacity and development as one of its major responsibilities, along with training, research, and documentation, development of a national level information base. So what is done? An information base in the digital form is built so that what disaster have historically occurred at a particular place, they are highlighted or they are kept into that particular, you can say, in that particular information dissemination system, where in the event of any disaster what should be done at first is decided. So it will network with other knowledge based institutions like IITs, NITs, and other premier institutions of the country, and function with broad policies and guidelines given by the NDMA, so that in the event of future disasters, the you can say losses, because you cannot prevent natural disasters. Natural disasters are going to be there. What you can do is you can reduce the severity of disasters. Like hazards are there, but when it will become disaster, when its severity is quite large, then the severity will make it a disaster. So disaster severity can be reduced by prompt action. So the NIDM, what it will do now, it is in the, you can say, mitigation phase now, where the planning, what to do in advent of disaster, which disasters are more likely to occur, and all these all things are studied. The NIDM will strive to emerge as center of excellence in the field of disaster management. So these people are there, NDRF, the National Disaster Response Force. Various battalions are there all over the country. 13 battalions are there. I think they have added some more battalions. So these are the National Disaster Response Force. In Maharashtra, we have a NDRF force battalion in Talegaon in Pune. Near Pune, there is a place known as Talegaon. So there, the army camp is there. In that camp, the NDRF, National Disaster Response Force, is there. One battalion is there. So if any disaster is there in this particular region, in Mumbai, Pune, or in this Konkan belt, or even in the western Maharashtra, any region is there, no, Kolhapur and all, these people, they immediately reach Of course, there are SDRF also in line with the NDRF. So the disaster management is carried out. So for the purpose of specialized response to a threatening disaster situation or disaster emergencies, both natural and man-made, such as those of biological, radiological, radioactive and nuclear origin. The Act has mandated the constitution of NDRF. So NDRF has already been created. The General Superintendent's direction and controls of this force shall be vested, as we had seen in the table, na? As we had seen in the diagram. The NDMA will control both what? NIDM as well as NDRF. So research will also be there and the direct action will also be there. Exercised by the NIDM and the command and supervision of forces shall vest in an officer to be appointed by the central government. So various directors generals are appointed of civil defense and national disaster response force. Presently, the NDRF comprises of 8 battalions. It has increased to 13 in the recent past. Also, it may have increased further with this pandemic and all. We need to see. These battalions will be positioned at different locations as may required. So for Maharashtra, we have an entire battalion. Like if there are smaller states, na, 2 or 3 states may have a single battalion. So NDRF will maintain close liaison with the designated. So liaison means close rapport, close. You can say close connection with the state governments to be able to be available to them in the event of any serious threatening disaster. So state government can themselves of course, the NDMA will instruct, but in case of any disaster, the state government will bring to their notice and they require because there should not be much permission and all formal permission and all required. So what will happen is again the response will be delayed. So this quick response is a necessary step. So while the handling of natural disaster rests with all the NDRF battalions, 4 battalions will also be equipped and trained to respond to. So these 4 battalions will also be there. Always they will be treated to work as the CBR in emergencies. That is the critical management. Yesterday we had seen the National Critical Management Response Committee. So in that committee also, this training will be given. Training centers will be set up by respective paramilitary forces to train personnel from NDRF battalion of respective forces, and will also meet the training requirements of state, union territories, disaster response forces. NDRF will be units will also impart basic training to all state stakeholders identified by the state government. So not only they will train themselves, but also the various stakeholders like the SDRF, the DDRF, and all other people, the local bodies, urban local bodies which are there, which are direct because NDRF cannot go if a vast area is affected by a disaster. NDRF cannot go at each and every place. So the urban local bodies, or you can say the local disaster response forces which are there for a district or for a say a small place, some small village, whatever forces are there, whatever stakeholders that are identified with the stakeholders, they will also train. They will also get trained by the NDRF. Further, national academy, like I had said the other day, na, we had a disaster management training some 3 or 4 years back. In the advent of fire and all other different type of disasters, 5 days training we had in our college. So they trained, they trained the stakeholders so that at least the minimum basic first aid facilities, or you can say minimum rescue, can be done before the final, you can say, NDRF teams, before the teams they reach. Because many small disasters are there, they do not require the NDRF units. They require, even we can say, local bodies can also deal with these units. Further, National Academy will be set to provide training for trainers in disaster management and more. So NPATL also currently runs various courses on disaster management. You can register for the courses yourself and you can get certified in disaster management. So mitigation research experience in major disasters in the last decade has clearly established. Because look, various disasters have increased. If you see the last 20 years data, the disasters have increased tremendously. So experience in major disaster in the last decade has clearly established the need for pre-positioning of some essential services at crucial locations, including some for the high altitude areas like in Jammu Kashmir and the northern belt and north Indian eastern regions. It is not accessible by trains and all, many places, the hills and all. So what you need, because if the NDRF is to reach, either it can go by helicopters or because even the on the hilly regions and all, the airports and all are also not that much common. So they have to either go by helicopter or by road, which becomes again tedious job, and for all to reach there on time, because there is a golden hour, na, that whenever disaster strikes, a golden hour is there in which if the lives are saved, then the real lives can be saved. Otherwise, what will happen? Na? If the golden hour is passed, people will succumb to their injuries. So that golden hour is very important in case of some disasters. So, including some of for the high altitude areas, these reserves are intended to augment the resources at the state level. Mitigation reserves will be placed at the disposal of the NDRF for enhancing the emergency response capabilities for assisting the state governments during a disaster-like situation. So, we have various committees: Cabinet Committee on Management of Natural Calamities, CCMNC, and Cabinet Committee on Security. The CCMNC has been constituted to oversee all aspects of the management of natural calamities, including the assessment of situations, identification of measures and programs considered necessary to reduce its impacts, monitor and suggest long-term measures for prevention of calamities, formulate and recommend programs for public awareness. So what these committees do now, they, in addition to the NIDM, they again form their own documents, so that the historical data is available, and then they can work in conjunction with the NIDM to build and to prepare to mitigate for future disasters. So building up society's resilience to them. CCS deals with the issues related to defense of the country, because they are now the critical critical response committee. So what they will do is they will deal with the issues related to the defense of the country, law and order, internal security, policy matters concerning foreign affairs that have internal and external security implications, and economical and political issues impinging on national security. Then we have a high level committee. In case of calamities of severe nature, interministerial central teams are deployed to the affected states for assessment of damage caused by the calamity and the amount of relief assistance required. The Interministerial Committee, a ministerial group, IMG, headed by the Union Home Secretaries, Union means Central Home Secretaries, scrutinizes the assessment made by the central teams and recommends the quantum of assistance to be provided to the states from the National Calamity Contingency Fund. So when we'll discuss the funds and all, now we'll discuss this in detail. There are funds, there are various funds which have to be made available during the disasters. Like for even this corona pandemic, now we have certain funds which are there. So Prime Minister Response Relief Fund is also there for Corona, and in addition to that, there is a Disaster Response Relief Fund also. So National Calamity. Similarly, there is a National Calamity Contingency Fund. However, assessment by damages by MG, because they will assess the damage. Na? What fund should be provided? Because funds are limited, na? And disasters are many. So what fund should be provided to whom and how many people? These all has to be taken into account by the IMG in respect of dot, hailstorm, pest attack will continue. Okay, and this will also be, there are various ministries like pest and all will be done by the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperation. If the railway accident is there, then it will be done by the railways. You know? So different committees will work on, different ministries will work on different damages, and they will inform the IMG. So again, the high level committee, the finance minister is the chairman. So Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman is current chairman, and Home Minister, Agriculture Minister, and Deputy Chairman of the Planning Commission as members of approves the central assistance to be provided to the affected state based on the recommendations of the IMG. So IMG will recommend that this much fund should be released. Like a flood is there, no? So the people are distressed. So this much fund should be released so that at least say for 10 days, 15 days there, food and all and other essentials are provided to them. So this decision is taken. So again, the central government it works because it has to take decisions, it has to give approval. So central government will work and they will work with all these committees to prevent and project the natural disasters. Then various ministries are there. I told you about the 14 ministries they will work, and what they will do, they will assess now because different type requires different ministries to work, and they will just suggest what type of disaster. So the one committee is their National Crisis Management Committee. So NCMC comprises high-level officials of the Government of India headed by the Cabinet Secretary, which continued to deal with the major crises which have serious or national ramifications, like a terrorist attack, and all these attacks are there, no? Like the Mumbai attack which was there in 2008. So this committee came to the fore, and it was the normal working. Now the NDRF that won't work. So they will require special paramedic group which are trained differently to handle the terrorist attacks. And state governments also will work for providing, and district administration will also work. And these all things are there. I'll share this document, you can read, because every point cannot be discussed in detail in this particular lecture. I'll share the document, you can read. Of course, the important things I'll share. Fine. Central paramedic forces are there which are involved, and also role of NCC and national service schemes, NSS and Nehru Yuva Kendra is there, NYKS. So these also people in the event of disaster, because they are the youth generally which are employed with them, and they help. And of course, state police and fire, like in the Quran, for the Quran and all that, the state police is working tirelessly for the, you can say, prevention of this disaster, na? For that, for ensuring that lockdown is observed and all. Na? Likewise, civil defense and home guards are there. So these all team is there, state disaster response forces that this will work in total, and then international community is there, communication is there for to preventing the disaster. So financial arrangement we'll discuss afterwards the quiz. So everybody is ready. You don't know why this business band is, it requires more bandwidth. I'll just switch off my video. Fine. So we'll start with the quiz. So there are 20 questions. Some questions may be multiple choice. Huh? Sorry, you can say there will be multiple answer also. There is not a single answer to some questions. Some questions are single answers, so you should quickly read. 30 seconds only I am giving today, because yesterday a lot of time was wasted, because many of you of course completed it within 1 minute. So 5 minutes there is no point. So this quiz you'll enjoy. This is based on your module 2. It is not on the current module. It is based on the module 2. Fine. So we'll start with the quiz. Everybody is there.
Sir, link
Yes,
भेजो.
sir.
Link share करूँ. Okay, that also can be done. Now this becomes a bit small. No? So those who can see from here. I'll just share the link. No? I'll share the link. Okay. In my WhatsApp now, I'll share the link. Mm. So once all people join now, I can start the quiz. Till then, I'll wait. Look, speed is important, but in addition to speed, you should also be correct. So I've shared the link on your group. So I have shared on both of your groups, in the class group also, and in this group also, DMM group also. So till now only 23 people have joined. Why so? Join quickly, please. Mind well, your attendance will be taken, but it will also depend on. Till then, I will share the attendance link. Okay, this also I'll share. Only 29 have joined. Please join quickly. I have to start. First, you give quiz. You can fill the attendance afterwards. I'll keep the link on only. Don't worry about the attendance. Till the lecture is over, I'll keep the attendance on. Don't worry. So fine. Shall I start? Still 34 have only joined. In the class, I have 53 students. Join quickly. The link which I shared is working.
Which link, sir?
Link which I have shared for this quiz. Na? Some people requested for link.
Yes, sir. Working.
Working. Na? Fine. Who is this dot? I will not be able to understand who has scored. No? If you are applying by dot. Interesting names. KK. Who is KK? Where are the others? 43 are there. And how much we have in the class? 54. Resend link in Meet. What is the code? Okay, I'll show the code also. I'll also send the link. I have sent the link. I should. Okay, you want me to resend? Again, I have to copy. It's better. I'll share from this only.
I shared, sir, already.
You have shared? Okay, good. Then I'll share. So I think I'll start because the time is also important now. 46 are there. I think the rest have just logged in or there may be some network issue. I'll start. Fine. Is that started? Is it started? Okay, we'll start. The good thing about it is I can see the live who is scoring now, who is attempting. I can just see. Maybe I'll not show you, otherwise you'll get to know. Okay, you anyway have the idea, no, who is right, who is wrong. Try to attempt correctly. As I can see the accuracy is decreasing. You can take some time. It's not that you have to just click whatever in the first go only, na? And take time. So all have done with the quiz. All have completed the quiz.
Sir, please come, give some
Yes,
time,
sir.
sir, please.
Okay, okay, I'll wait. No issue. Fine. So shall I end now? Already it's 10 minutes, I think, na?
Sir, I'm facing network issues. Please give me some
Okay,
time.
okay, okay. No worries, no worries. I'll wait. Fine, then shall I stop now?
No, sir.
Yes, sir. I am done.
Okay. Yes, anybody left? Fine, then I'll just end. Okay, I'll end the
Have
quiz.
it.
Let's see who has scored, who are the top five today. So everybody is done.
No, sir.
Fine, I'll just end. Okay, then I'll just end this quiz. So first is Ubaidullah, Snehal is second. Who is this? Third, I cannot comment who it is. You can see Ubaidullah got 100% correct. Nashra got 95% correct. Everybody is there.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
There, sir.
Snehal got one wrong, I think. No, two wrongs. Snehal was also quick. Who is this person? I am not sure because if you had written proper name, maybe I could have commented. Fine. So question wise analysis also I have. Faiz was very quick, but Faiz has made some mistakes. Three mistakes Faiz has made. Otherwise, Faiz would have been first. Ubaidullah has only Ubaidullah, I think so, has 100% correct as far as I feel. Nobody else is looking 100% yes. Aisha has submitted. Aisha is there. Aisha is yes. Okay. Who is this dot? Fine. So This is a very good way of engaging you all, no?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Of course, these reports can also be generated down. I can just download the results. Fine then. I think there is no much time left for discussing any further topic. You can give your attendance. Yeah, the other day's result also if you want to see if somebody has missed, na? And this result in this format I can download and I can have the result, na? It will be saved with me. So I can have the name, I can have the score, which mobile you have. This is again, this is GMT time. So this is Greenwich Metro time. So this time has to be 5 hours, 5.5 hours need to be added to it. So so those are attending the quiz can give the response. So again, those who want to see the quiz, I'll just show.